Silverstone, it's mid-July, the right place and the right time for the British Grand Prix. James Allen and Louise Goodman will give you all the news from the pits. In the commentary box, it's Martin Brundle and F1's top talker, Murray Walker.
What about the Williams, I hear you asking, and that powerful BMW engine and the Michelin tyres are not going so well here. Montoya, who I have been tipping for a win today, is 8th on the grid, and his teammate Ralf Schumacher is in 10th position just behind him. But it's as ever all going to depend on strategy, on tyres, who comes in when, and above all whether it rains. You see above you blue skies and white clouds, but it was just as quick to go from this to rain in the past at Silverstone, and it could go the other way today. Super. Track temperature 28 degrees. The formation lap starts. Martin, you've taken us round already, but do it again. It's a fantastic experience.
A nice high shot then for us to appreciate the high-speed nature of this Silverstone circuit, and that is Beckett's corner. Looks very smooth and easy, doesn't it, from this range.
Watch also those yellow Jordans. In pole position, Michael Schumacher. Behind him, David Coulthard. Alongside him on your left is Mika Hakkinen. Behind Michael Schumacher, Coulthard. Behind Hakkinen is Jarno Trulli.
Bit ambitious there for Coulthard, and the tail enders are lining up.
Now, is Michael Schumacher going to make a good start and cut across the front of Mika Hakkinen? He's famous for that. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. And Schumacher gets away well. Trulli is up alongside and sprinting into the first corner. It's Schumacher leading and Jarno Trulli is still 4th. Then off goes the VAR.
And Trulli hit Coulthard. Trulli hit Coulthard into the first corner. Did he go off? I can see a Jordan in the gravel trap. And that was a McLaren coming out of the pit lane. It must have been Coulthard. So look, Michael Schumacher then from Mika Hakkinen. And where did Coulthard go? Did he fully connect with the Jordan? I think he did.
Well, it's a Williams up in 3rd place, and out goes Jarno Trulli from the look of it. And you can see they're jostling for position at Stowe Corner, but it's a Williams up into 3rd position, and it looks like Juan Pablo Montoya it is, ahead of Barrichello in the Ferrari, who is 4th, and Ralf Schumacher is 5th, and out goes the VAR.
Panis is out then, so Trulli and Panis out, and I think Coulthard had a spin. I saw them just touch before they went out of camera shot, and Coulthard and Trulli getting together in turn 1. What a shame for this race. What a shame for Coulthard's World Championship chances.
Indeed it is, but Mika's on the boil. Look at him right behind Michael Schumacher, and Montoya in that very powerful Williams BMW in 3rd position. He's doing much better than he could have expected to. He's gained 5 places already, and we're still on the first lap. Coming towards the end of it, Schumacher leads, Hakkinen 2nd, Montoya going very wide in 3rd place, Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, and Raikkonen is 6th.
And Coulthard, we believe, is coming in the pits this time around, so the contact must have been pretty heavy. Maybe he's got some suspension damage, and he goes past me now. Coulthard not pitting, but he is last but 1. Coulthard goes over the line in 18th because we've lost cars already in this Grand Prix. So David Coulthard then still on track, clearly 4 wheels all pointing in the right direction.
David Coulthard has got to pray now that something happens to take Michael Schumacher out of the race if his World Championship chances have not been destroyed already.
And here we go, we've missed the action up the front. That is Panis getting together what looked like with Villeneuve. I just caught the beginning of that. But and Coulthard is indeed coming out of the pit lane, look, so he must have spun to the inside. Let's see if we can see it this time around again. That's Panis's little trip across the gravel. He will eventually get beached in the same gravel trap already as Trulli. Now let's have a look. Coulthard going around the outside of the Jordan understeering, Coulthard nipping him slightly, and yes, Coulthard spins, look, a long, graceful but critical spin to the inside of the racetrack, out of harm's way. Has it damaged Coulthard's rear suspension? It's clearly damaged Trulli's front suspension.
Yeah, while he spun past him went Barrichello, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Heidfeld, Frentzen, Lacey, Villeneuve, Verstappen, De La Rosa, Button, Bernoldi, Irvine and Bertie, and David Coulthard is in 18th position, fighting his way through the field as Mika Hakkinen fights Michael Schumacher, who will, I am sure, know that David Coulthard, his chief World Championship rival, is out of the race. The Ferrari radio signals will have told him, and there's somebody else off.
Coulthard,
let's look. It's David Coulthard. David Coulthard's race is over. David Coulthard retires from the British Grand Prix on lap 4, and sadly I have to say it looks as though his World Championship chances have gone with it. Not impossible, but even more difficult. With Michael Schumacher now on lap 4 out of 60 in this British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Mika Hakkinen dogging his wheel tracks, but what a gap there is between them. It's 3.2 seconds now between Mika Hakkinen, who is in second place, and Juan Pablo Montoya, as Hakkinen goes for it. Hakkinen takes the lead on lap 5. Brilliant bit of driving.
I think Michael made a mistake. Michael got wide out of Copse, and I don't think he really wanted to fight too hard either. Remember what Jean Todt said to us on the start line, and Hakkinen positively moving away at a vast rate of knots. Let's try and understand what Schumacher did there. It looked as if he either just got a little wide on the exit of Copse, or just decided to yield and get Hakkinen out of his mirrors and concentrate on maximising the 6 points this afternoon. Michael Schumacher will already know, rest assured, that David Coulthard is out of this race.
Yep.
And Luciano Berti then is out of the race. He's going past our window here. There he is. Now you see it in the Prost, and look at that line of oil behind him. He is off the racing line. That's a difficult car to recover from there, Murray. A very difficult car, especially if he hasn't got it into neutral. There is a couple of gates along the pit wall, and they can get that car through. They'll have to operate under waved yellows. Jarno Trulli then, his race lasted just one corner. He is back in the pits already, and that is why he's running 18th and last. He's just recovering from the gravel trap. That's a replay from Copse.
And Jenson Button is in an excellent for the Benetton this year, 13th place. Replay of Fisichella going off. Jenson Button is actually doing well in this race. He's tucked up behind Pedro de la Rosa's Jaguar. He's ahead of Bernoldi's Arrows. He's in 13th place.
Going to see a replay of that. A good slipstream down into Stowe, and a slide and slither up the inside. Alesi realising early on he's beaten, and Villeneuve very much with the faster car there, but I think Villeneuve got together with his teammate in the first corner of the first lap. Alesi springing up from what was 14th on the grid to what is now P11 behind Villeneuve in 10th place. But Michael Schumacher, I do not believe, is happy with his Ferrari. Be interesting to see after his first pit stop where he's at. If they're just playing a cruisy game and they're totally confident to let this happen because Coulthard is out of the World Championship, Hakkinen is no threat. He just has 9 World Championship points at this time. But Michael is playing it very cool if he's prepared to allow Montoya to be that close.
Arrows have got Verstappen in 9th place and Bernoldi down in 14th position, and BAR, just to go through the top 10, Jacques Villeneuve is in 10th position, and his teammate Olivier Panis is out as Montoya pushes Michael Schumacher on lap 18.
Now, will Schumacher let Montoya go so easily? Yes, I think he has, and he will. So Michael Schumacher then just letting them cruise past him this afternoon. I don't think he'd want to take any risk with this man Montoya. Montoya's shown quite clearly that he will have a go at the first opportunity. Ross Brawn looking super cool, but I don't believe they'd yield those points for the sake of it, Murray.
Yeah, we're standing right behind the main grandstand, and they've just risen to a man and cheered Montoya past. Well done, they're saying, and rightly so. I don't think that they think that Michael Schumacher is taking it as comparatively easily as we here in the commentary box think he is.
And this is what we thought, that Hakkinen has got reasonably light fuel. Now, he needed about 28 seconds to be able to pit and rejoin in front of Michael Schumacher. He had only just under 26, so I don't know whether he's going to do it, but I think Michael is playing quite a cagey game here this afternoon. And bear in mind, Martin, that Ferrari had more data about these new Bridgestone tyres, a good stop there by Hakkinen, than the McLaren team have.
Yes, I agree with you, James. I think they've probably brought Mika in slightly early because he was in the thick of the traffic, as you saw, and was beginning to lose some of that lead. And there is Montoya then. So Montoya takes the lead of the British Grand Prix.
And it's not the first Grand Prix he has led. Remember that incredible passing manoeuvre he made on Michael Schumacher in Brazil at the Senna S. Now, This man has got real talent. This is the man who won the Formula 3000 championship, who went to America as a contracted Williams driver to drive for Chip Ganassi, and he not only won the American Champ Car Championship, but he won the Indy 500. Came back to Europe to drive for Williams and displaced Bruno Junqueira in the process, and now he is leading again. Slightly full situation because, as you know, Mika Hakkinen is right behind him, having gone into the pits and come out again. There's very little in it on the track, but doesn't time fly when you're enjoying yourself? Because we're now on lap 30 out of 60 at Silverstone, half distance, as you watch Rubens Barrichello pursued by Ralf Schumacher in 4th position, and Montoya, his teammate, who is 5th after his pit stop.
Yeah, bad news for Montoya here, really. He didn't need this at all. He's clearly on a two-stopper, like Hakkinen up front, but it's also clear now that Ferrari, as James predicted, are on one-stoppers, and so is his teammate Ralf, and he is now tucked up behind Ralf and Rubens and the back markers, just when he needs a bit of clear air to make that strategy of his work. So Montoya then a little bit wrong-footed by where he rejoined the racetrack after his stop.
We're on lap 36 now. Hakkinen out on his own. Into the pits comes Pedro de la Rosa, and he was in 9th place, just 5 seconds ahead of Verstappen, who will have taken the position.
And look down a little bit further down the pit lane, the Williams mechanics are out for this man, Ralf Schumacher, who pits for the one and only time this afternoon from what was 4th place at the time. Montoya snuck past him, of course, as he was in the slower pit lane. What's going to be interesting to see is can Michael Schumacher pit a little bit later on and get back out in front of Montoya, because Ralf Schumacher really is fighting with Barrichello this afternoon, and the fuel hose taking 2 or 3 seconds to come out there, so that cost Ralf quite badly, and I think will probably keep him behind Barrichello.
Oh, yeah. Now, what is also going to be interesting is that Montoya has no longer got Ralf Schumacher between himself and Rubens Barrichello, and the Colombian is an extremely feisty fighter. I'm not suggesting that Ralf Schumacher isn't, but Montoya will be having a real go at Barrichello now. He's with the Ferrari.
Looks like somebody's hit the wrong button on the Sony PlayStation game there, because we went dark. Maybe we'll throw a bit of rain at him a little bit later on. We think Ralf Schumacher has gone off the racetrack. So we think Ralf Schumacher, we're hearing from the truck,
there he is.
He looks like, rather than gone off, looks like he's stopped actually in that position more than crashed, but we'll have to wait and see. Montoya going in the pit lane.
Coming in. He seemed to pause and decide whether he was going to come in or not, suddenly jigged to the right. So it's Montoya in his 11th Grand Prix against Barrichello in his 140th Grand Prix, and this of course is going to do Montoya no good at all. The question is, can he get back on track before the two Saubers appear? Kimi Räikkönen in 5th position and Nick Heidfeld in 6th position, and the answer is most definitely yes, he can, because I'm looking back towards Woodcote now and the Saubers are not yet in sight.
But Montoya then, remember, this is a very fast corner cut, so I think Montoya will get away fast enough, but that was not a good stop considering how little fuel. Should have been 7 or 8 seconds, so not a great stop there again for Montoya. We saw them struggling a bit with the fuel hose earlier on for Schumacher too, so losing a little bit of time in the pits today, Williams. Can Montoya, I think he'll definitely stay ahead of Barrichello.
And we're on now on lap 43, 17, 1:7 to go.
Barrichello in the pit lane. Rubens Barrichello for what is a very late stop. 43 laps in to this 60-lap race. What can they do for him? What kind of service is he going to get this afternoon? All looks slick, doesn't it, so far? He's holding a nice steady revs. Up goes the lollipop. Drop the clutch. Make sure you spin the wheels, otherwise the engine will die. No problem at all then for Rubens as he cruises out and heads into the final sector of this Grand Prix.
And over the line there is the Williams in the background as Michael Schumacher in 2nd position, 22 seconds behind Hakkinen. Eddie Irvine in the Jaguar in 9th position, chasing Jacques Villeneuve's BAR, the world champion of 1997. Another very disappointing race for the French Canadian. And Jacques Villeneuve is only just staying ahead of Irvine, but he is staying ahead in 8th position. In 10th place now, making up the top 10, it's Jos Verstappen in the arrows. You can see how hard Eddie Irvine is trying. And on lap 46 with 1:4:14 to go, Mika Hakkinen has got a very, very secure lead, but he's got to finish the race. And there's many a Grand Prix in the past where the leader has failed on the very last lap, and that's happened to Mika Hakkinen himself this very year. But he's 22 seconds ahead of Michael Schumacher, and into the pit lane comes Eddie Irvine from that 9th position for his second pit stop.
Locking up his wheels, desperately trying to slow down before that 120 km/h line, and it's not a question of the man not seeing you down there. It's all done electronically. There's a loop underneath the racetrack there. They'll tell him exactly what speed he was doing. Eddie absolutely on the margin there, and a late stop really for him in this Grand Prix. 9th place. He had a 27-second advantage over Verstappen behind him, and that is a proper two-stop time. Now you can see Verstappen coming down the pit straight in the distance, so Eddie Irvine will retain 9th place. Can he recatch Villeneuve?
Yeah, good stop by Eddie Irvine, and Jacques Villeneuve has only stopped once, and he's got to come in again. So it may well be that when Villeneuve has done his stop and rejoined the track, Eddie Irvine will be in front of him. We're on lap 47. Well, dare I say it, because I have been so wrong in making prophecies in the past in the closing stages of a race. But we're now coming up to the end of the 55th lap out of 60 at the 2001 British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And things really do look set at the beginning, and you would expect any cars that have got a problem to have gone by now if it was going to take them out of the race. And that means that Mika Hakkinen looks like winning his first Grand Prix since the Hungarian Grand Prix last year, which was the 12th race of the year. He's going to come home victorious at Silverstone, and it will be a richly deserved victory for the very popular and likeable Finn. Here he is coming towards us now, and Michael Schumacher is now a full half a minute, 30 seconds behind the flying McLaren Mercedes. And it's not only going to be an enormous encouragement to McLaren and to Mika Hakkinen, but to Mercedes as well, because in recent races they had been shaded by the Ferrari V10 engine and the BMW V10 engine, and particularly by the Schumacher brothers. Indeed it does. Mika Hakkinen back at the top for what is going to be his 19th Grand Prix victory, and a very welcome one it's going to be. He's going to feel an absolutely liberated man, knowing that this time everything has come together for him. Out of Brooklands for the last time, he's just got the double right-hander at Luffield, the tremendously quick turn 17, which is Woodcote Corner, 155 miles an hour, and for the first time Mika Hakkinen wins the British Grand Prix. He just cruises across the line and takes the checkered flag, luxuriating in every wheel turn.
Well, that's a hat-trick for McLaren then. Even if Coulthard couldn't pull it off this afternoon, Mika Hakkinen scores 3 consecutive British Grand Prix wins for McLaren Mercedes-Benz. Second place man then, Michael Schumacher. I'll have those 6 points. Thank you very much. That puts him, of course, then 37 points in the lead of the World Championship, with a mere 60 available for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and because Rubens Barrichello is going to finish in 3rd position, it will mean that McLaren and Ferrari in the Constructors' Championship have both scored 10 points at Silverstone, and the gap therefore between Ferrari in the lead and McLaren in 2nd place will remain at a massive 52 points, with the German, Hungarian, Belgium, Italian, American and Japanese Grand Prix still to go. Ferrari must be very, very happy.
Montoya crosses the line then for a disappointing 4th. Remember, he was running a strong 2nd before he made that early crucial pit stop, and he'll be very disappointed with that, and some 68 seconds behind the winner Mika Hakkinen. Raikkonen and Heidfeld will not have the pleasure of seeing the checkered flag. They're 5th and 6th in the 2 Saubers because they were over a lap behind. So their race is over 1 lap early.
Well, Mika Hakkinen, hand out of the cockpit, taking the plaudits of the crowd. And the top 10 at Silverstone were Hakkinen, Schumacher, Barrichello, McLaren, Ferrari. The top Williams, Montoya in 4th position. The 2 Saubers are superb, 5th and 6th, both in the points. Heinz Harald Frentzen, 7th for Jordan, no points. Villeneuve 8th for BAR, no points. Jaguar 9th position. They probably won't be too unhappy with that because they said that Silverstone wasn't really their kind of track. They're looking for something different, but they are improving all the time. Arrows, you have Jos Verstappen in 10th position, and then completing the other 16 who finished out of the 21 who started. Jorna Lacey in the Prost is 11th ahead of the 2nd Jaguar, De La Rosa. James, news?
Yes, indeed, Murray. I'm down in the McLaren area. The tremendous celebration going on down here. Ron Dennis, as Murray would say, Mika Hakkinen, who never went away, is now very definitely back.
Absolutely. Great race for him. Copybook from beginning to end. Right strategy, well executed. Mixed emotions. I'm really disappointed for David, but it's not over. We took points away from Michael again today, and we have the speed. I think we can win obviously more races, but it was Mika's day, and the championship, as far as I'm concerned, for David is still very much open.
Absolutely. Do you draw any encouragement from the strange pace of Michael Schumacher today? He seemed to be off it, really, didn't he?
I think his pace just reflected a one-stop strategy, which was the wrong strategy, but possibly, as always, they'll have a reason for dampening the enthusiasm of our victory, but they'll struggle to do that.
Well done, Ron. Great day today.
Don't worry, Ron. You did a grand job. Congratulations to Ron Dennis, to Martin Whitmarsh, to Adrian Newey, to Neil Oakley, and all the other people at McLaren and Woking. Not forgetting Mario Ilian, the late and very much missed Paul Morgan, who had so much to do with the engine of the Brixworth concern. They've won the British Grand Prix.